In today's episode of Bill and Frank's Guilt-Free Pleasures, we talk about a song that was so great, a bank manager gave the writers a $10,000 loan each just on hearing it.
Bill talks about sun chips, and I talk about grade 9 basketball again.
And we talk about the greatest 80s video that features your uncles dancing at the family wedding.
This is our discussion on Rock Steady by the Whispers. Bill, about 3, maybe 4 years ago, I remember very, very distinctly. I was driving in my car down the QEW in St. Catharines, and this song came on the radio. And I was super pumped. Rock Steady, The Whispers, this is totally a guilt-free pleasure. And this has to make it on the podcast. And 3 short years later, I actually brought it to the table.
I know we usually do this later, but my question for you, Frank, did you start to give up? Down to the limit, and then you changed your mind? Whoa. We also need to talk about kind of the elephant in the room, because I believe elephants live to 44 years old. Do they, Frank?
I think they have pretty long lifespans for animals, yes.
Like tortoises and elephants live the longest, I'm pretty sure.
Tortoises are like hundreds of years, but yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And elephants are tens of years.
At least, yeah.
Yeah. I hope we're right. I don't even want to look it up. They're really big.
Yeah.
Those hearts have to work a lot to pump.
I would think so, yeah.
Okay. Either way, 4 years ago or 3 years ago when you heard this, you were the same age as the guys in the Whispers.
Yeah.
At least the twin brothers in the Whispers who were the lead singers of this song.
Yeah.
And watching that music video, they still look, in a way, older than us, or at least a lot more mature. Like, they got day jobs.
Yeah, they obviously worked at a bank.
Yeah, that's true.
Before they went to shoot the video. But the super fun thing about this song is it's a band that gained some success in the 60s.
Yeah, and 70s.
And 70s, yeah. And here they are in the late 80s. They're in their mid-40s. And out of nowhere comes this massive song. And a pretty hip song for 87.
Very hip.
But watching the video, they're not dancing so hip.
They're dancing kind of like Bill and Frank.
Yeah.
Except way, way better.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They can keep rhythm and everything. But we'll talk about this more when we talk about the video, I'm sure. They're dancing like I would at a wedding at 44 years old. Just that middle-aged guy out on the dance floor, he's got 1 or 2 moves and he just puts them on repeat.
That's right. Put it in a loop. When it works, it works.
Yeah.
In a way, they seem like what the Temptations or Four Tops would be.
Yeah.
If you were to keep them going into the 80s. So they still have the coordinated dance moves, but now it's the 80s. You got Michael Jackson who's doing moonwalk. You got breakdancing. Yeah. So those 60s moves don't seem to translate unless you're doing a song by L.A. Reid and Babyface.
Yeah, absolutely. And the Temptations, they had that classic where they're lined up and did the sway and the snap and all in time. And that was kind of similar to the dance moves the Whispers were doing in this video.
Well, I mean, from their history, and I guess that's what we'll go into here, you have the brothers. What are their names?
Walter and Wallace Scott. And they're twins.
They're twins. Identical twins.
Yeah.
Second song we've done featuring identical twins.
Oh, yeah.
Proclaimers.
That's right. Yeah. I wanted to say Nelson for a second there, but...
Were they twins?
No, I think they were just brothers.
They had great hair, though.
They had fantastic.
Same hairdresser, so they looked like twins.
Yeah.
So we got the twins. They grew up listening to those Motown tunes. Now, they're born in 43, so by growing up, they're in their 20s listening to the Temptations. And they're from originally Fort Worth, Texas.
Yeah.
And we just did an episode a couple weeks ago on someone else who was born in Texas and ended up in the same place they grew up, Watts.
Yeah, that was Barry White.
Yeah, so they're also from Watts, although it doesn't sound like they crossed paths with Barry White at all.
No.
Now, they ended up doing a lot of talent shows, they said, in the 60s.
Yeah.
And they often would win it, the Scott brothers. I think that was their name. Mm-hmm. And they ended up being at one of these talent shows, and there was a trio, the Kingston Trio or something like that, who were also playing. Eddie Kingston Trio? Am I getting the name right?
That could be correct.
Okay.
I'm looking this up right now.
I feel like that's the name of the other group who was also performing, but backstage they went full like doo-wop style and started harmonizing together.
Oh, okay.
And they ended up deciding that after the show they would do their thing. And I think they were in high school at the time. Okay, and they became the Whispers later on.
So they started with the Whispers.
Right. Now, curiously, one of the brothers ended up going to Vietnam.
Yeah, Walter was drafted and had to spend 18 months overseas at war.
And I was listening to this podcast called R&B Money, where they interviewed the Whispers. Mm-hmm. And they claimed, although my research says the opposite, but I'll go with their claim. Apparently, according to Walter, they don't draft twins into the army, like during the draft. Now, from what I read, that's not true because they actually did studies on twins who were in Vietnam.
Okay.
But in their case, they only drafted the oldest brother, so the firstborn.
Yep.
So the one went to war, the other did not. And luckily, because Walter, being the music guy that he is, was really good at both keeping a beat and hearing a beat, unlike you and me.
Yeah.
Which meant that he was great with Morse code.
Oh, really?
And
okay.
that kept him out of the infantry. That actually put him in the thing that's not infantry, the Morse code division.
Yeah.
And that's what he did for 18 months and then ended up back home.
So back with the band, I guess the trio that they hooked up with at that talent contest, the members of that were Gordy Harmon, Marcus Hudson, and Nicholas Caldwell.
Okay, and I'm calling them the Eddie Kingston Trio, which sounds really false now.
Yeah, it could be, but I'm not going to disagree with that.
And we're not going to look it up.
No, we're not. Why would we let knowledge and facts get in the way of our podcast?
Why would we let it get in the way of our truth?
Exactly. Whatever you feel is the right name of that trio is the right name of that trio. Listen to your heart song, Bill.
Okay. Are you familiar with any of the Whispers hits from like the 60s or 70s, Frank? There's one song I want you to hear that they did. I don't think it's till maybe 1980. But I'm really excited to play it for you.
And the beat goes on.
Oh.
Yeah, I know that song.
Well, never mind then.
But
okay. That was
you asked me if I listened to it this week. And I'm like, no. But
I know
the song, yeah. The band, though, before that song came around, in 1973, Gordy Harmon was in a car accident, and he injured his larynx. That's how you pronounce it, right?
Larynx?
Larynx.
Like links, but a larynx.
Yeah. He hurt his neck, his singing neck. So he had to leave the band because he couldn't sing anymore.
Right.
And that's when they brought in LaVille Degree from Friends of Distinction.
Okay, and then he's been in the band still, I think, since.
Yes, yeah.
And so they had a string of hits through the 70s. Like, they're pretty minor on the big world stage, but they had some R&B hits. They had an R&B #1 with Beat Goes On.
Yeah.
They had another one called Lady. I don't know if that was earlier or later. It's a good jam.
Yeah.
So they've had a great career already coming into the 80s. And I think things are slowing down for them, though.
Yeah, because they're hitting their 40s.
Right.
Like late 30s and 40s. Right when we're hitting our peak, though. Like, we're hitting our peak in our mid-40s.
Oh, I thought you were talking about when they were in their 40s, we're hitting our peak at 6 or 7.
Yeah, no.
No, okay, right.
We're not slowing down. We're still ascending.
That's right. That's what helps when you have such a not steep slope in terms of your career trajectory.
A gradual incline.
The grading of it. Yes, that's right.
But yeah, so they're kind of a little passé. And think about it too. Like you had mentioned the Temptations, the Four Tops, all those big Motown R&B groups from the 60s. Now they're in the 80s. And as you had mentioned, you have Michael Jackson. You have all this R&B funk and all this big sound that is created through the 80s. And these Motown R&B groups from the 60s just aren't playing as well.
Right. But the nice thing is, because you have been something in the 70s, you have young up-and-comers who still look to you as heroes.
Yes.
Enter L.A. Reid and Babyface.
Yes.
Now, they are coming from the deal. I believe we talked about this before.
Yeah.
Because we've talked about them for the Every Little Step I Take episode.
And the Pebbles episode.
And so, actually, these songs are in order. So, number 3 is Every Little Step I Take. Number 2 is Pebbles. But the first chance they got was with the Whispers. Yeah. And so the Whispers were the ones who believed in them and gave them the shot. And they were excited because they grew up listening to Whispers music.
And this song is considered a New Jack Swing song. It's early New Jack Swing, so it's 87.
Right.
But you hear all of those elements throughout this song.
Right. So the story goes that Babyface was, I don't know if they were touring with Midnight Star. And you knew Midnight Star better than me. I was trying to find songs, but then, what was the song you mentioned?
Freakazoid.
Freakazoid. Was that a song you danced to at, like, university year 1 or something? It seems like a dance number from a first-year university party.
Well, no, because it was out in 83, so it would have played at a retro night, but I don't remember it ever playing at any of the retro nights I went to. I just remember the song because the title is amazing. Like, Freakazoid, that's a great title for a song.
Also, the crazy thing I just realized is we would have these retro nights when we went to university, which is in 96. Yeah. And the songs were from 83.
Yeah.
13 years before.
I know.
That's so crazy.
Think about that. Retro nights at clubs in university now are playing songs from 2010.
Yeah, that's hard for me to deal with.
I've already given up on listening to new music in 2010.
Yeah. So the story anyways goes. Babyface is with Bo Watson from the Midnight Star.
Yeah.
And Bo Watson is on his Lin 900 or Lin 9000, whatever it's called, and plays something. So I'm guessing it's a nah, nah, which really isn't much, but he might have done more.
Yeah.
But he played something that Babyface likes. So something he played on there, some part of this song. So it could have been the nah, nah.
Sorry, what part?
Nah, nah. But now I feel like I'm doing that Elton John I'm Still Standing song. I'm still standing. Nah, nah. I don't think that's how it goes at all.
No.
Either way, he played something that was probably more substantial than what I'm giving him credit for on the Lin 9 something.
Yeah.
And Babyface heard it, liked it, and said, I'm going to write a hook to it. So the hook is the Rocksteady thing, and they end up writing Rocksteady. L.A. Reid gets involved in this too because they're like a songwriting duo.
Yes.
Because they actually moved to L.A. to do this.
Mm-hmm. This is before they became LaFace.
That's right. I think they didn't even have their nicknames. I don't think Babyface was Babyface yet.
I thought
Kenny
he
Edmonds.
was.
Well, I guess they called him Babyface.
Because he looked so young all the time.
And L.A. Reid was called L.A. because he liked to wear a Dodgers shirt. I learned that just 5 minutes ago.
Oh,
yeah.
Look at that.
I'm doing some last-minute research. Anyways, L.A. Reid and Babyface are in L.A. They're writing a ton of things. So L.A. Reid gets involved. I'm imagining the drums are his thing on this. And so all the percussion stuff that we love is L.A. Reid, and maybe even some of those bass lines, even the ones going over top. Because I feel like he's got a gift for the big production.
Yeah.
Babyface is the writer. He says he's the gifted songwriter. In a sense, Babyface is Michael Jordan, according to L.A. Reid. I got this in another interview. But he's more like Phil Jackson.
Oh,
and so he needs.
I thought he was going to say Scottie Pippen, but no, he's the Zen master.
Exactly. And I'm more like Horace Grant.
Yeah, well, you do wear goggles quite often.
Yeah, I do. That's right. Just for the recording, so I don't hit my eye on this microphone again.
I'm kind of like the Steve Kerr because of my ability to hit 3-point shots in grade 9 basketball.
That's right. What happened in grade 10?
I got cut from the team, but I was the team manager. Which meant I kept stats and filled up water bottles. It was a super important role.
Hydration is critical.
Well, absolutely. There's a story behind why I got cut, too. So
okay. I'm looking forward to that.
You want to hear this now?
Oh, I guess we have no choice.
Oh, okay. Well, in grade 9, the year before, when I hit 4 3-pointers in one game, later in the season, my playing time had diminished because I was no longer going 4 for 4. And I went to the coach and said, listen, I think you're not playing me enough. I think I deserve more time on the floor. And then I didn't play a single minute the rest of the season. And then I didn't make the team the next year.
Well,
turns out I wasn't really good. Apparently that game was what they call a fluke.
Did you go like 0 for 7 whenever you got up? Like just kept trying to make those shots?
No, in grade 11 though, I did go over 6 in a game once.
All right. But you made the team in
I
grade
made
11.
the team, yeah.
All right.
Yeah. That's
Okay.
when I transferred school.
Oh,
So they didn't know about my history.
Right. Okay, well, it's a redemption story.
What, going 0 for 6?
No, just
super embarrassing.
Just making the team.
Okay.
And now and then you got to tell the story of your grade 9 achievements.
Exactly. I'm pretty sure in grade 11 they just didn't cut people.
That's okay. You had your rock steady moment.
I had a lot of hustle.
You do. Back to the song.
Okay, so more about my high school basketball career.
L.A. Reid and Babyface do a demo where
Yes.
Babyface does all the vocals. I want to play you a bit of the demo,
Okay.
and I want to get your thoughts on it, to see what the Whispers brought to the table.
All right.
All right, I know I was going to let you speak, but it's incredible.
It's
Everything's
really
there.
good. Yeah.
If anything, they had a ready-made song,
Yeah.
and they just had to sing on it.
Yeah.
There wasn't anything they needed to bring to it. Babyface's vocals are great there.
What the Whispers bring to it is a maturity.
You're right. That's a good point.
I love the song and I love the Whispers, but I can just picture it. Babyface comes to them. It's like, hey, we got this song. It's called Rock Steady. It's like, Rock Steady? Yeah. It's a hip term that the kids are using.
But the joke, of course, is this is a song from the 70s by Aretha Franklin, and it was a dance in the 70s. There was a dance called the Rock Steady.
Yeah.
Or I think you shake your hips. I was trying to watch videos. It's not like there's lexicon rules where certain dance moves have a name and you can't give it to another dance move.
Okay.
At least from YouTube. Because I saw about 3 versions of the Rocksteady. I'm like, wait, there can only be one Rocksteady.
Yeah.
But then I listened to the Aretha Franklin song, which describes the Rocksteady, although I don't know if it's the actual Rocksteady from the disco
dance,
era.
yeah. Okay.
But either way, there is some advice about knees going up on one video, and then another video was a guy just shaking his hips. Like,
Yeah.
that doesn't look like good moves.
But that's the move that they do in the video.
It is. So maybe they were Rocksteadying
Yeah.
it. And apparently Michael Jackson's song Rock With You is talking kind of about the Rocksteady.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's cool.
But it goes to number 1 for the R&B chart.
Yes.
What number does it go to on the...
Number 7.
7, okay. 8, and it's an 87?
87, yeah.
Okay. I'm sure you're going to have the top 10 for us.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
It's a pretty good top 10, too.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it. So it does very well, and it's like the last big hit for the Whispers, but it's also their biggest hit.
Yes.
And so it's kind of a great way to set their career in motion forever.
It's a great send-off song.
They're still singing Rocksteady. I saw them singing it at a Clippers game in 2021. I also saw them singing it last month on YouTube, but in 2021, the two brothers were singing. It looked like they're at one of the booths at the LA Clippers game, but they sounded pretty good. Mm-hmm. And at that point, they're 78 years old.
The current members are still Wallace and Walter Scott and Leavell Degree.
It's amazing, right? Others have passed on, but
yeah,
I mean, they're now 82, still performing.
Yeah, which is crazy.
Yeah, just like we'll be doing with this podcast.
We might be covering songs from 2010 at that point.
Oh, maybe if I'm ready to talk about that stuff. Okay. I got one more story to tell you, Frank, before we get to the song itself for our analysis.
Okay. Is it about playing basketball in grade 9?
No, it's about L.A. Reid and Babyface. Because they said this is their first hit. It's the first hit song they had. And on this podcast, which I told you about, R&B Money, the one guy is named Tank, and I've seen him singing with Babyface.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
It's really good.
Yeah.
So L.A. Reid is on there, and they ask him, well, when did the money come in? He goes, well, we didn't really have any money, but we had this manager who is a bit of a different guy, who's also Bob Marley's manager, or at least in the past he was. And he said, grab a boombox. We're going to the bank. So the manager comes into the bank with L.A. Reid and Babyface and a boombox. And they go and see the bank manager. And they play for the bank manager Rock Steady. They said, they've produced this song. It's Rock Steady. And the bank manager hears it. And he says, you need to give these guys a loan. And so they get like $10,000 loans.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, so they didn't make money on this. But the bank manager knew it was such a jam. that he immediately gave them a loan for $10,000 each.
Okay, we need to go to a bank with a recording of our podcast and say, you need to give us a loan because tens of people listen to this.
And you know what? If we can get jams like Babyface and L.A. Reid had, and consider this is like their first major hit song.
Yes.
And there's so many more to come. They're going to transform everything in the 90s. They are New Jack Swing. Is that fair to say?
Essentially, yeah.
And so they end up making their own production company. They end up bringing in like so many different artists. Mm-hmm. Anyway, good times ahead for them.
Absolutely.
Great times for us and our listeners as we go into this song. I love that beat. I love the feel of that whole thing. I can just picture this. I mean, this is a category, but whatever, we'll put it in. Where do you want to hear this? Summertime, barbecue.
Yes.
You can hear it at a dance, but I like it better outside.
Oh, it's such a good jam.
Yeah, under those patio lanterns.
It's perfect on the QEW on a summer night.
Yes.
3 years ago.
And it's not top down because in our lives, that just means window down. Maybe the driver and the diagonal back seat so you can get a nice cross breeze going.
Yeah, exactly.
Because your air conditioner is broken down. We hear a lot of neat instruments there.
Yeah.
If I can use the term neat properly.
Well, you are in your 40s, so yes, you can.
You got the synth. Beep, beep. We heard that there, didn't we?
Yes. But the bass.
The bass. There's synth bass, and someone is playing bass over the synth bass.
Yeah. And it's just walking and slapping.
Yeah. What more can we say? I think it's time to go to verse 1, Frank.
But also in that intro, you get that rock. Those are the first lyrics you hear.
And I wonder if it's through the synthesizer. Must be.
I want to believe that it's one of the Scott brothers.
Okay. Just actually there. I'm like, could you just do that one more time?
Rock.
Right. And it was like the 15th take that they took.
Yeah.
Okay. Verse 1, Frank. Yeah. I looked at you. You stole my heart. You were all that I anticipated. Great use of anticipated in the song.
Yes.
Okay. I wanted you every part, but I knew love would be complicated. Very true.
I looked at you. You stole my heart. You were all that I anticipated. I wanted you every part, but I knew love would be complicated.
I begin to touch.
Oh, you stopped singing.
I know, but well, I begin to touch. I actually realized I couldn't remember the
beat.
The beat.
Yeah, the rhythm.
I begin to touch, but you wouldn't let it. It never seemed to be the right time. I think I'm losing it here, but the keys are playing underneath this, isn't it?
Yeah.
I started to give up, down to the limit, and then you changed your mind. Whoa.
I begin to touch, but you wouldn't let it. It never seemed to be the right time. I started to give up, down to the limit, and then you changed your mind.
I love that story through that first verse. Here's this girl, and the guy's trying to get with her, and it's basically, I'm trying, and I'm getting nothing back. But then at the end of the verse, no, wait. You changed your mind.
Right. When he says, I wanted you every part, I think he's talking about the whole person, not just physical, right?
Personality,
right.
Like spiritually, emotionally, every single part, yes.
Now, I believe you've mentioned your basketball game for the last 7 to 8 episodes.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've told this story. I think I must have told it at some point. When I was in Kingston at a bar.
Oh, yes.
And there was the song going on, whatever dance song was going on, and I was just standing there. And beside me was this very attractive girl with a big guy talking her up, I guess.
Yeah.
Or talking all over her. It was really quite uncomfortable to me,
what
he was saying. So he was saying, oh, I love this part about you. Oh, I love your shirt and how it looks. I'm like, oh, this guy is creepy.
Yeah.
You don't say that to somebody. I mean, you just don't talk to girls at all, was what I was thinking.
Exactly, yeah.
And then he went to go buy her a drink, I think. And
Yeah.
she looked just flustered or just exhausted
Yeah.
from having to put up with this. I have a feeling that it wasn't new to her. And then I said, hey, you know what I like? And she looked at me so defeated, like, oh no. And I said, I like sun chips, especially the barbecue type or something like that.
Yeah, yeah. And then you just turned away, right?
I turned away. And then she tapped me on the shoulder and that she wanted to talk.
Yeah,
And so I feel kinship with this rock steady.
exactly.
Now, we didn't rock steady
No.
because that other big guy came over.
Yeah.
That was it for me.
But you had a good conversation about sun chips.
We did.
Yeah.
And so it turns out a clever line. And it was true. I really did like sun chips and truly was hungry for them at the
Yeah.
time. But she was interested in what I had to say about sun chips.
So that story, like through your experience in Kingston in that bar, it sounded like she was just exhausted and defeated and just had no more defense.
Right.
And I'm wondering if that's the same case here. It seems that could be the case. Like this guy's like pulling out all the stops. Like he's very persistent,
Right.
whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. That's
Right.
left to be seen. I started to give up. I was down to the limit. And then you changed your mind. So I don't know.
Well, I think it's more like the bird dance where he's kind of showing his feathers, his
Yeah.
colors. I don't know if you saw How to Train Your Dragon 3, Frank,
No.
but there's the scene where Toothless is trying to win over the girl he likes, the white dragon. He's the black dragon. He's doing his dance.
Yeah.
And she doesn't seem interested, but it's part of the love dance. He doesn't get it because Toothless hasn't met anyone who looks like him. I don't know if
Gotcha.
you followed these movies. They're quite good. So they began to rock steady later on in the...
Gotcha.
And I feel like they were rock steadying, and I was kind of uncomfortable because it's a kid's movie, and I feel like there was a double entendre going on
Okay.
there. Yeah, in the movie.
In a child's movie.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So I'm like, oh, do we have to talk about this? But anyways, it didn't go as far as I thought it would.
Yeah. Sorry, not to not talk about How to Train Your Dragon 3.
Okay, that's fine.
Maybe he was so persistent that he kind of wore down her defenses. Or is it a story of her playing hard to get? And then when he kind of was giving up a little bit, that's when she realized, like, okay, no. I want to rock steady.
Right.
However, he seems to be losing interest. So now I've changed my mind.
This is the whole dance floor thing. I think
Yeah.
they have to communicate in the dance. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know if they actually have the feather suits on and they're doing the feather dance.
Not in the video, they didn't.
No,
So.
not a chicken dance either at the weddings.
No.
Never seemed to be as seductive as I'm making it. The chicken dance.
Well, just calling it the chicken dance is probably the least seductive dance name you could give something.
And of all the birds, usually male birds have a look to them that's going to attract people. But I feel the rooster just has that hat. Yeah, that's not going to do it.
Regardless or irregardless, depending on what word is actually a word, of the story that goes along with that first verse, we come to the chorus.
Right.
Because whatever this guy's been doing seems to have paid off.
Right. And what do? They begin to do this dance I heard about.
Yeah.
They begin to rock steady. Steady rocking all night long. Must be one of those after hours clubs that goes a long time.
Yes.
And we begin to rock. Dun, dun. Synth comes in there, right?
Yeah.
Steady.
Rockin' till the break of dawn. So yeah, it is one of those like late night after
Right,
hours
right.
places.
It's a good rocking tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Steady rocking all night long. Rock steady. Rock until the break of dawn.
And we begin to rock. Steady, steady rocking all night long. And we begin to rock. Steady, rocking till the break of dawn.
That chorus is so memorable to my younger self.
Yes.
And we must have heard it all the time.
Yeah.
And I know this didn't go to number one, but it's most likely more memorable than most number ones would have been, even through the 80s. There's lots of great songs, but there are number ones that come up where, I love Glenn Medeiros, She Ain't Worth It.
Yeah.
But Rock Steady is far more memorable.
Oh yeah. Far more memorable.
Yeah. And Bat Dance. This is far more memorable than Bat Dance.
But you love Bat Dance.
I blocked out Bat Dance through help and through electroshock therapy. But this one, Rock Until the Break of Dawn, I can listen to this all night.
Yeah.
And the song's pretty long.
Yeah.
So it's like we're listening to it all night. I mean, that chorus is great, but as we go through this song, there's a moment where it's like, did it just start repeating itself, or is it still the same song?
Yeah, because it's 5 minutes long,
That's a long song.
which for a pop song in the 80s, that's pushing the limits.
L.A. Reid's really pushing things here.
Yeah. You would say maybe down to the limit.
Bit of a calculus problem here.
Or a line from the first verse.
Yeah, that too. That too. Okay. Oh, speaking of verse 2. You looked at me, to my surprise. You were too anticipating. You were too anticipating. Like you were too...
Were you also or...
Too much.
Yes,
I must be also.
I think so.
I should have known it was in your eyes that you were getting tired of waiting. So either this is previous verse just from another perspective,
Yeah.
or he's, in a very depressing sense, moved on to another person to dance with. But I don't want to think that way.
No.
You wanted me so much, but I didn't get it. And I love that part because the piano's starting to play when he says, get it.
Yeah.
How could a fellow be so blind? I started to give up, but love went and let it. Then you walked into my life.
You looked at me, to my surprise. You were too anticipating. I should have known it was in your eyes that you were getting tired of waiting. You wanted me so much, but I didn't get it. How could a fella be so blind? I started to give up, but love wouldn't let it. Then you walked into my life.
Reading through the lyrics here, I think it's a story of the guy has no game or no social awareness.
This does sound like my thing in Kingston now.
Because he's pulling out all the stops in verse 1, and I think it's the same girl, right?
Yeah.
But he's not either A, picking up the signs that she's throwing back to him, or his game is just like completely off.
He's not catching that she loves sun chips.
Yeah, no, not at all, right? So here we are in verse 2, and he's singing, but it's basically her story from her perspective that she was anticipating. They wanted to rock steady together, but she's waiting for him to make the right moves, but he's not making the moves and also not picking up on the signals, which sounds a lot like me.
That had such a pregnant pause there.
Yeah.
You know, it does have me thinking, because I feel your life is still yet to be the realized Hallmark movie. And I am throwing things off first by quoting the song at the beginning of the podcast as though it were the end. And now I'm on to the second category. We haven't done it in a long time, a Hallmark movie.
Yeah.
But in a sense, this might be the wedding speech where they're explaining to the audience how they met
Yeah.
and hooked up. And it could also be that weird moment where they keep talking about rock and steady and people are getting kind of awkward.
Yeah,
Like, you
but they're
mean
talking
dancing.
about dance.
Dancing, right? Dancing.
Yeah. Or maybe they're in a band together and they just like rock
Right,
steady.
right. And then they play the song as they're at their wedding, and it's the reception. But of course, the strange part would be if that was their wedding dance, but then they'd have to have those special Britney Spears mics.
Yeah.
And they'd have to dance really quick.
I told you how my friends, they're both in a band together. They got married.
Right.
There was the reception after the wedding, and then the whole band went to a local bar that they used to play at all the time, and they played a set for the wedding reception.
That's pretty cool.
It was pretty neat.
Yeah. I like the idea of a fast song being the main dance song. My good friends, Mark and Melissa, at their wedding, they danced to Don't Want to Miss a Thing for the first half of the dance.
Oh, okay.
Then there was a break for food.
Yeah.
And then when they came back, they played Staying Alive. And that was
okay.
their second wedding song,
Oh, okay.
which was more of a wedding song to me because it seemed to represent their lives.
You had me so excited you're going to resemble there.
Yeah, I didn't.
No, it's too bad.
Okay, so we got the chorus. We've done this already, and I'm
Yeah.
sure we'll get back to it again. And then we get kind of a confusing interlude, maybe bridge, maybe not. Right?
Yeah.
But there's going to be the music going on because you got keys going on there more often now in the song.
Yeah.
Like you already talked about, the bass playing over the bass synth.
Yes.
And then there's this special little dooba-dooba. Do you remember that part?
Yeah.
And that has a lot to do with the Scots' dad. So way
Okay.
back in the day, they're listening to Motown in the same way kids are listening to hip-hop or whatever they listen to now. I guess
Yeah.
hip hop is from the 90s. What do they listen to now?
Hip hop is still a thing.
Oh, okay. We're still hip to the scene then.
Yeah.
So their dad heard them listening to Motown, and for him, R&B was terrible. He's
Yeah.
like, it's jazz. He goes, if you guys really want to sing, you got to scat like Ella scats. And so they learned to scat, which also kind of gave them an up when they were doing their, Temptations thing.
Yeah.
And so here we just get some of that scat for Papa Scott.
You basically described an episode of The Cosby Show.
I just did. Remember when Theo got the earring?
Yeah.
Was that the first episode?
I don't
A great
know.
episode.
Yeah.
So with that interlude, do you feel it's a bridge? Because the part that Genius calls a bridge, the lyric sheet we go to,
Yeah.
I don't feel it's a bridge.
It feels like a bridge because what they identify as the bridge is just a repeat of parts of verse number 2.
Okay.
But that interlude, and there's lyrics throughout it, is such a long part. It's the Confederation Bridge. It's going from Nova Scotia all the way to Prince Edward Island there.
Yeah. I feel like the song might be a minute too long.
I would think so. That middle section, I don't know if it adds a whole lot to it
Yeah.
because it's not really danceable.
Right. And it is kind of funny that there's the 12-inch mix that I think is 5 minutes and 46 seconds.
Okay.
The single mix is 5 minutes or whatever it is.
Yeah, it's 5 minutes and 5 seconds.
It's so long. But it also does feel like maybe a bunch of 40-year-olds who just go a little bit too long.
Yeah.
I mean, it is super entertaining.
Oh, yeah.
And so maybe if you're out hanging with friends, you do want to hear this. And it's okay to hear it repeat because the whispers are fantastic.
Yeah. Oh, very much so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we're going to get repeated chorus again, right? After this?
But that repeated chorus at the end, and this is where we get like my favorite part. Because they're going through the chorus, the lyrics, rockin' to the break of dawn, and then the echo, rockin' till the break of dawn.
it is fantastic.
Love it.
It is
so
great.
much.
Baby, get to rock, steady, rockin' till the break of dawn. Steady, steady, rockin' all night long. Rock, steady, rockin' till the break of dawn. Everybody rock, steady.
So they do add to this song. I
Yeah.
mean, the demo is shockingly realized, but the whispers do bring this weight of age, but also skill.
Yeah.
That a lot of the bands don't have. I mean, Boyz II Men almost certainly look back to the Whispers
Yes.
to a degree.
Yeah.
And they do their thing. But the Whispers have this fun that even Boyz II Men don't have.
Yeah,
Right?
Boyz II Men is super serious.
Yeah.
I think the Whispers, because they are the age that they are, they're just like, we're just going to let it fly with this song, and it's going to be fun for us.
Well, because, I mean, we look at the video, they look like either bankers or cops who aren't working the beat as much as at desk jobs.
Yeah.
They're fantastic mustaches. And they kept them
Yes.
right through.
Yeah, it's kind of reminiscent of Larry Blackman from Cameo.
Right.
They don't quite have the flat top fade, but
Right.
they have those big mustaches.
Right. But no codpiece.
No.
Yeah. But there's one of the other guys in the back there doing the dance.
Yeah.
Who's got a beard that's so high that he's decided not to do the cheek trim.
Yes.
It's almost like it's a straight line across his nose where
Yeah.
his beard is. It's fantastic and also troubling. But also something you must respect.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
I guess we're talking about the video?
I think so, yes.
What can we say about this?
It is uncles dancing at a wedding.
Is this on MTV? Did they play it? I think they, must have. They
yeah.
had to.
Yeah. If it went to number 7, it had to have been played on
Right.
MTV.
So this is, yes, uncles dancing at a wedding. It's also like end of the year banker party where they get up and
Yes.
dance.
Yeah.
Because they're still in their suits.
And I get it. It's the 80s going into the 90s, but those suits are massive.
It's amazing. I also must admit that I started to watch a bunch of older videos before I got to this video.
Yeah.
And I thought it was amazing. I hadn't really read enough about the Whispers in one of their previous videos. Like, how did they do the thing where they doubled his face? Because he seems to be singing in two different places and he's beside each other.
Yeah.
And I didn't even clue in that they were identical twins.
That they were twins.
Yeah. I assumed it was just 1983 trickery on the video I saw.
Also, I think this is a great time for us to admit that we made a mistake very early on in this episode. Nelson are twins. Matthew and Gunnar. They're twins.
They are twins.
They are twins.
Well, this is it. This is why you can't tell who's singing, because their vocal cords have developed the same because they have the same DNA.
Yeah, well, the same sort of physiological makeup.
They don't have the same DNA.
No,
Do we know
everyone
that?
has their own individual DNA.
There's not a lot to say about the video, except you have to enjoy it. And they're playing
They're on a rooftop or something?
Yeah, the rooftop playing to nobody, and then they have people around them, and then one of them kisses somebody.
Yeah.
In the audience, but it does seem like an uncle kissing a member of the family.
Yeah. Like, it wasn't a, sexy kiss.
It's not a rock steady kiss.
No.
But that's good. I'm glad. I mean, you don't want your banker to be doing that to clients.
No. That's not that kind of a bank.
They look so happy.
Yeah.
And they should be. And they kind of got screwed over because they were all in to just doing L.A. Reid and Babyface songs. And the record company said, no, we're going to spread this around. Because they knew how good Babyface and L.A. Reid were.
Yeah.
And the Whispers were like, we'll do all the songs. And they were ready to give them more songs.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of it for them.
But it's too bad, though, because the Whispers gave them their first real big shot, right?
And, to be fair, I guess, the Whispers still have a career going. People are still paying a lot of money to go see them. And they're on good terms with L.A. Reid and Babyface.
Yeah.
They're buds.
Yeah.
And so you get a sense that this is a pretty fun and kind community to each other. So, recommended video, check the show notes. We definitely have it in.
Yeah.
Now, in the show notes, I also have a version of Babyface doing a different version of this.
Oh,
Babyface
really?
has been great on YouTube. He put up that demo. But then he also put up another version of this that he changed. Made it more like the Babyface we love. Change the world, Babyface.
Oh, yeah.
Get ready, Frank. You're going to love this.
Then you changed my mind, and we begin to rock. Stay rocking all night long. We begin to rock. Ooh, steady, rocking to a break of dawn.
That is bonkers awesome.
We were just speaking off mic here. We have a lot of Babyface to talk about in our podcast.
I was hesitant about bringing it up, but when can I see you again?
Well, we have lots of Babyface in our future.
Like, when are we going to record that? Like, when can I see you again, Bill, to record?
Tomorrow?
Oh.
Want to do tomorrow?
Sure.
It's crazy. Now I got more Babyface for you, Frank, because I
Oh,
can see how happy you
awesome.
were.
Yeah.
I got Babyface performing this at one of those outdoor free concerts where it looked like it had rained.
Okay.
And so everything looks covered up. And so he's doing an a cappella version of this song. But I think he's setting up the crowd because he's going to start playing the full band.
Yeah.
But he starts doing the song, and the whole crowd is in.
That's awesome.
You stole my heart. You were all that I anticipated. I wanted you in every part. Started to give up. It never seemed to be the right time. I started to give up. But love wouldn't let it, then you did what? Then you walked into my
That is awesome.
He's the best.
That is so good.
We got so much Babyface to talk about. It reinvigorates our podcast here. We got so much to do.
I know, right?
Yeah. I'd say so little time, but we're going to live for another 50, 60 years, Frank.
Exactly. And there's another 50, 60 years of people enduring our podcast.
That's right. And I feel we could do it for every single song released in the 70s, 80s, 90s, and even today.
Are you a radio DJ right now, or
I
what?
know. I heard that all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Were you like me where
Yes,
radio...
I'm exactly like you, Bill.
I love radio jingles. They made me so happy.
I know I've already talked about this, but Bill, what part of the song brings you the most joy?
Well, I think it's the part with the Midnight Star guy.
Oh, okay.
Where they say, and we began to rock, steady.
You love that.
Steady rocking all night. And now I'm ruining it in my head, but it feels so funny to watch him say, hey, Babyface, I got an idea.
Yeah,
The Babyface says, hey, I'll write a hook to that.
Yeah.
And I'll put your name on it, okay? Yeah. Paul Watson, I know you wrote way more.
Yeah. Well, he wrote Freakazoid.
So, category for you, Frank.
Yeah.
Where would you most likely hear this song?
Oh, because it's not a grocery store song.
No, you're going to be spilling all the produce if you hear this.
Exactly. Oh, this is tough. It's a barbecue song for sure. It's an outdoor party song.
How about bowling night, like glow-in-the-dark bowling?
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Maybe on a mini putt date?
Oh, yes. Yeah, that'd be fantastic. Oh, that brings back memories.
Should I take people out on dates like to go mini putting?
For sure. That's the best thing.
Is
you
it?
Take them to Niagara Falls. Then you can go to one of those haunted houses and you can go on one of those Ferris wheels.
Yeah. And
You don't sound convinced. I think this is a great date. You can play arcade games at the bottom of the Skylon Tower, which is our baby sister to the CN Tower.
should I stop doing like grown up dates? Should I be doing more fun dates like this? Is this why I can't get a second one?
Oh, man. Well, I mean, if you do that all in one date, why would they want a second one? You've done everything.
Oh, exactly.
Well, reaching out to the listeners, Frank's ready to take
Who
you on.
wants to mini putt with me and listen to Rocksteady?
Oh, man. Okay. So, Frank, did you bring a top 10?
Yes.
Okay.
It is a pretty awesome top 10. This is the week of August 29th, 1987, where it peaks at number 7.
Okay.
So we start off with Can't We Try by Dan Hill and Vonda Shepard.
I've been thinking of bringing that to the table for a while. I'm trying to decide on the Dan Hill song we're going to do, but that's my Dan Hill choice.
Okay.
I love that song.
Yeah.
He's a Canadian compatriot. Is that what they say? Compatriot? Or
I think you're entendreing again.
Oh, all right. Okay. Well, he's from Canada.
Yes.
Okay. That went really badly. Go on next song, Frank.
The Dan Hill song I would suggest is Sometimes When We Touch.
That's very emotional.
I wanna hold you till I die, till we both break down and cry. No?
We can. I mean, I just thought you'd just sing the whole song.
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right. Wow, that was number 10.
That was number
It's going
10,
to take
yeah.
us an hour to do this top 10.
I know. Number 9, It's Not Over Till It's Over by Starship.
Oh, man, I thought it was going to be Lenny Kravitz.
No.
I don't know that Starship song at all.
I don't really know that one.
Okay. All right.
Number 8, Didn't We Almost Have It All by Whitney Houston.
Did we almost have it all? Wait, was she cheating with somebody? I have a feeling one of the songs was about a guy who's already married.
I have no idea.
That's not cool in the guilt-free pleasure world.
No.
No, because that's guilty.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry. I'm sorry to get all moral on ya.
Moralistic here?
All
yeah.
right. Okay. Next.
7, Rocksteady by The Whispers.
We've talked a lot about that already.
We've talked a lot about Babyface, too.
Right. And Sun Chips.
Number 6, I Just Can't Stop Loving You by Michael Jackson and Sade Garrett.
Not my favorite tune.
Still a good song, though.
All right.
Number 5, Only in My Dreams, Debbie Gibson.
Oh, yes.
Number 4, Luca by Suzanne Vega.
Well, we've talked about that in a recent episode.
Yeah.
What a tune.
Great song. Don't Mean Nothing, Richard Marx at number 3.
Oh, I love that. This is rock Richard Marx.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't mean nothing. Na, 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 na. Okay, sorry, Frank.
Are you?
No, not at all.
I
That's
wouldn't
a
be.
fantastic
No.
song. Yeah.
Number 2, Who's That Girl by Madonna.
Who's that girl?
And number 1 is La Bamba by Los Lobos.
Oh, okay. Well, listen, Los Lobos is incredible. Dare I say, the only problem with La Bamba is it keeps people from hearing the rest of Los Lobos.
Yes.
But dare I also say, that because La Bamba is so great, I actually found out about Los Lobos and listened to more of their music.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Did you watch the movie with Lou Diamond Phillips?
Yeah, I've seen it like 4,000 times.
Okay. All right.
It was one of the 3 VHSs that we would rent in the late 80s. That, Dirty Dancing, and The Neverending Story.
Oh, man. It's a sad movie. It's one of those movies that showed up on the Super Channel. Do you remember First Choice / Super Channel? And they'd show up and you could see Three Amigos, La Bamba, and then there's a whole bunch of other things the parents told you couldn't watch and get out of the room. All right. Mixtape time, Frank.
Yeah, okay.
I brought a mixtape I'm pretty proud of.
Okay, I'm not super pumped about mine, but it's okay-ish, I think.
Okay. So does that mean I start?
Why don't I start
Okay.
and you can finish because your sound's probably better than mine already.
Okay.
My mixtape is R&B singers from the 60s who had songs in the 80s.
All right. Why are you downplaying that? That's a great topic.
It's a great topic. I'm just not super pumped with what I ended up coming up with. I start off with I'm Coming Out by Diana Ross.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
A great song.
Yeah. Did it come out in the 80s or the 70s?
In the 80s, like
Okay.
1980, 1981.
Okay. All right. Great tune.
Being With You by Smokey Robinson.
Oh, yes. I forgot about that. Even though we did an episode on Smokey Robinson,
Yeah.
didn't we? Being With You is so good.
Yeah.
I love that song.
Rockin' After Midnight by Marvin Gaye.
Okay. Is this posthumous?
No, this is their
Sexual
single off of, what was that album?
Sexual Healing?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well,
whatever
that
the
wasn't-
album was.
Yeah, that album, yeah.
Wow. Okay.
I also was going to put Sexual Healing on, but I didn't want to say the words.
No, of course not.
But I just did, so
Yeah.
there we go. Treat Her Like a Lady by The Temptations.
Oh, that was in the 80s? That did
Yeah.
well? Okay. All right. Wow. These are deep cuts. This is good.
And then finally, Rocket by Herbie Hancock.
Yeah, with that robot at the front during the Grammys.
Yes.
All right. The joke of all of this is I said I have a great mixtape, and you're like, mine's okay. And so mine is artists from the 60s and 70s who had great hits in the 80s and 90s. And so one of the rules was they had to be in their 40s, although I don't know if they're actually in their 40s, but people in their 40s who had this sort of second life.
Yeah, okay.
Even though some of them didn't really go away. So one of them who didn't seem to have gone away, but this was his last big song, even though he did great stuff afterwards. Paul Simon, You Can Call Me Al.
Okay.
Because I think he's 40 when this comes
Yeah.
out, or at least he's already been something in the 60s.
Yeah.
Next, Cher, If I Could Turn Back Time.
Okay, yeah.
All I remember is she did it on like a giant ship.
Like a battleship, yeah.
Were her butt cheeks tattooed?
I don't know, but she was wearing something
Where you could
very-
see her butt cheeks?
Yeah.
Are we going to talk about that song? That's a guilt-free pleasure.
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Next up, the ultimate revival song, starring Uncle Jesse on drums.
Kokomo?
By the Beach Boys. All right.
Nice.
Next up, Aretha Franklin and George Michael. So there's your R&B thing.
Yeah.
I Know You Were Waiting for Me.
Oh, okay.
And then I decided, in honor of Roberta Flack, tonight I celebrate my love for you.
Oh.
With Peebo Bryce.
Yes.
So there's my tunes. Killer mixtape, Frank. Killer mixtape, Bill.
It's very cohesive, this one.
Yeah.
Steady rock, steady rockin' all night long. Everybody steady rockin', steady rockin' till the break of dawn.
We hope you've enjoyed our walk through Rocksteady by the Whispers. And we're always curious to where these songs fit into your lives. So if you have a good memory about this tune, how about reaching out to us on our socials? And by socials, I mean we have an Instagram account. Right, Frank?
Sure.
Yep. We have a Facebook account.
Yep.
We even have a Gmail account.
We even have a Blue Sky thingy.
That's right. And one of us is going to check that soon.
One of these days.
Yeah.
And we want to thank you for journeying with us through these songs and our discussions and meeting with us each and every week. And we hope whatever time of the day that you listen to these podcasts, that you have fun and enjoy our company. You can keep rocking with us till the break of dawn.
Listening to the break of dawn.
This is Bill and Frank's Guilt-Free Pleasures.
All